Time to do this.
Not, now we are. Dustin's coming in too.
Okay, we'll wait for Dustin. Okay. He said it was okay? Okay.
I'm going to take it back.
Looks
Not
like
you.
here on the highway. We have one absent, I think, today.
Mhm.
Okay, all right. So welcome to April. Okay. Have people had time to look at the minutes from March yet?
I have. I'll make a motion for approval.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion is passed. Okay. The next is report on the funding events.
Thank you for having us here today. I am Marla Hambeacon with Conway Regional Health Foundation, and I have our Chief Development Officer and our Grants Manager are also with me. So if I can answer any questions you might have. We just came to say thank you very much for supporting us for our last Arkansas Duck Derby event. As you know, it was a challenging year, but nonetheless, we're very pleased to report success and want you guys to know that your commitment has been a big part of that. It has helped us to build the brand. It has helped us to involve people and invite people and make the event known to people outside of our area, which I think, as we talked about when we presented the application, is kind of a win-win. That's great for us, but it's also great for the city of Conway. So thank you very much for your commitment. We had a record-breaking year despite all of the challenges. I don't know where any of you were on January the 11th, January the 10th, January the 12th, but it was a duck derby like no other. That week was quite challenging in terms of getting 200 and something hunters in the blind, sometimes 30 to 60 to 90 miles away from Conway. So some of it worked, some of it didn't work, but that's okay. We're resilient. We did raise a record amount of money, and I know that you guys know this supports lots of different things related to healthcare in our community. It's not something that is just spent internally within Conway Regional. It supports community programs like our medical fitness programs that support Parkinson's patients and those who need medical fitness. It's prescribed. It's not an option. It's not just exercise for fun or vanity. And so I'm just thankful for that. We raised $678,974.
All right,
Wow.
all right.
That's
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And despite the challenges, that's quite a bit more than the year before.
It's an amazing job with weather, snow,
Mhm.
things
Yes.
that came up. Well
Mhm.
done,
I
well
will
done.
tell you, our community came out. The local community came out for us. The duck hunting community, the Arkansas Duck Derby community came out. There were people who risked life and limb to be with us and to buy those awesome auction items and everything. So I will say that the attendance was really better than we thought given the weather. We had not quite 700, between 650 and 700. Normally we have about 1,000 to 1,100. So of course it was down a little, but given the challenge of the day, we were pretty excited about that. We did have record number of teams enroll, 42 teams. And as you recall, these are teams not just within our community, but throughout Arkansas and beyond. So that's another good thing to get people here. Unfortunately, because of the weather, only about half of them actually completed the hunt. But everybody, all 42 teams were okay with that and happy to be safe and sound, whether they were able to hunt or not. So we're appreciative of that. Most of those hunting places are outside of Faulkner County, and all of those people come back to Faulkner County for the banquet. So we're happy to invite them back. Another thing in terms of the dollars that we raised, obviously we had a number of sponsors. We had 136 sponsors. Those are local businesses in our community, regional, and even national organizations. So we're pretty proud of the partnerships that we built with the Arkansas Duck Derby, and those sponsors tend to stay in the game year after year. So that's really positive. Just some other information I'll share with you. I know that there were teams and attendees from at least 6 states: Arkansas, South Carolina, Texas, Colorado, Louisiana, and Oregon. I do know of a couple of groups that were coming from Missouri that were not able to make it this far south. But anyway, so again, we're bringing people into the community. There are at least 17 counties outside of Faulkner County that were included in the event, both in teams, landowners, and those who attended the banquet. So that's a good thing. 90% said they'd be back to be involved with the Duck Derby again. 93.4% said they would definitely visit Conway again. So we made a good impression on them.
All right.
We must have looked good in the winter weather. And I know. I think they were just in it was just a bad mood. I don't know. Can't imagine any other good reason, right? That people did stay in hotels, actually. There were 2 hotels listed in the survey responses, and I know over 20 restaurants were visited. So hopefully that's good news for you guys and shows that we're trying to make good use of the money
We felt
that you
it.
give us.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know if you have any questions about the event or about our approach or any of that. I'd be happy to answer them.
I think well done, well presented. You hit all the bases. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Marla.
Mhm.
Okay. Any other funding events? Okay. We do? Okay, all right.
Hey, I'm Eric Marsh from Sunshine Academy, and this is Rebecca Thomas. She's our gymnastics director and the meet director for the event y'all helped us with, the Priceless Princess Girls Gymnastics Invitational. You want to tell them about it?
We always appreciate y'all giving and giving and giving to this event, and it's very generous of y'all. We always have gyms from Arkansas and Texas, sometimes Oklahoma. This year we didn't have Oklahoma, but we bring in the gymnasts and their families. And of course, a lot of them spend the night in a hotel. And then we also have all of them, after they've had a hard day at the gym, they need to go and fill themselves. So they go to the restaurants and visit in Conway. Let's see what else was. So it was successful. We had 253 competitors. And then we always have multiple spectators, especially our youngest group. We always have every grandma, grandpa, and uncle, the whole shebang. We're pulling out chairs. Every year I'm like, okay, we're going to have plenty of chairs this year. And we just keep bringing them in because all the moms and grandparents want to see their little babies compete. And they always do good. I will say that I haven't had a gym that's ever said, hey, this wasn't run great. We're not coming back. We don't like this. Every year it's really positive outcome. And so I feel like our team runs the meet really well, and everyone enjoys themselves. So they're not just ready to get out of there and get home back to their city, but they're here to enjoy the day also.
That's all we got.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. I
Thank
mean,
you.
Bringing people to town, we obviously need that, and thank you for all y'all do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
Jason, do you want to go ahead and go right here? Is that okay? All right, cool.
Hi, I'm Jason Lim with Arkansas County, and I'm here to
Hey,
present the
Jason.
2022 Conway AMP Commission Audit Report. You guys should have it there in front of you. First off, I just want to thank you for letting me hit a few highlights on the audit report. Let me begin with some positive news. Their commission received an unmodified opinion, which means that the financials presented fairly and accurately in all respects. Some key metrics: the total assets went slightly down from about 3 million 2022. In 2021 was about 3.1 million, so down just a little bit. Your liabilities were about 830,000. That also included, though, the funds that were due to the city of Conway. Revenues were up, but expenses were up a little bit more, causing about a $200,000 difference in revenue versus expenditures for 2022. Despite this, the cash flow was positive, about $2.5 million in cash and cash equivalents. There was no material weaknesses identified in any internal controls or no instances of non-compliance, no subsequent events. So in conclusion, 2022 showed strong revenue growth and a clean audit results. Financial health remains strong with sufficient liquidity and sound oversight in their financials. So I know you guys just got this. You might have some questions. Yeah. So
another one of coming.
So you have 3 more coming. You guys have engaged me to do 22, 23, and 24, but we're going to go year by year. So once 22 gets approved by the board, then we'll start on 23, and then we'll go to 24. So yeah, depending on how quickly we can get things moved, I might be back next month presenting 2023. So yes.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.
All right.
Jason, thank you. Pleasure
you.
meeting you today, too. Yes.
So did you need approval from us today in order to start?
No, you guys can reach out to me later. Once you guys look at it, if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I can answer any questions that you guys have. And then once it does get approved, then we can start moving with 2023. Absolutely.
It's good news.
Thank you.
Is this time to take a vote on this, or do we need to?
Well, I know he said he wanted us to look over it. My suggestion would be this, because he said we could get back with him if we're not comfortable doing a vote today, give it maybe a week and us reach out to possibly Rachel and let her know that, just shoot her an email and say, I'm fine with the audit. So maybe have a deadline if we're not going to do it today of a week. And then if you can get one and get it to Melissa, she texted me, her dad actually was at a doctor's appointment and she thought that they would be finished by now. So if you could email that to Melissa, and then each of us just make it a priority to look over this and then reach out to Rachel by Monday. And then she can get back with you. Rachel, do you have his number? Okay, yeah.
I'll get you Melissa's email address.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. And going forward, next time, I'll try to get this audit report mailed out to you guys. Maybe email it to Melissa so that you guys, the board, will have some time with it before I come present the next one.
Okay, great.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You'll hear something
Okay.
by the end of the week or
Thank
by
you.
Monday. Thank you. All right. So if that needs to be in the form of a motion, that's the motion that I would make, that we review it and get with Rachel no later than Monday.
So we have a motion on the floor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Looks like that passed. Looks like
All
next
right.
2 weeks. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And now our financial information. Jill?
Everyone, this is Jenna Lynn Rebels. She has helped
Hi.
me been my goodness, A&P assistant since I've been back from my surgery leave. Okay, let's get into the financials. Right, your paper clipped packet, balance sheet. Balance in the operating account is $2,328,320.50. The balance in the collections account is $1,230,181.23. And the CD balance is $511,023.05. Total assets for the month of March 2025 of $4,069,524.78. Up to the third page. Revenues for this month are $517,107.38. With our expenses at $24,688,688.30, with our net income of $87,516.15. Sorry. We're down from
From
the
what
current
you
month
said.
of last year. Yes, we are. I think it's from the weather events too. It's all I can figure.
I think,
Lost 10 days to weather this year.
Yes.
it affected us.
Mhm.
Any questions about this?
Back on the first page, Jill,
Sir.
if you don't mind, we've got money in a CD. We've got 511,000 in a CD.
Yes, sir.
CD paying more interest than these other accounts are paying, right?
No, sir.
So they're all paying the same?
Around the same, yes, sir. I haven't checked the CD, but I know we checked the bank accounts the other day and we were at 4%, or a little bit more.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we weren't leaving a bunch of money in one account that's making 2%.
I'd written the same notes myself, Andy, because, I knew what I was getting and other people were getting in town, so, yeah. That's
Yeah, I'm thinking when we changed it over that we got a better rate. So, I mean, I feel pretty confident that it is probably, our CD is probably earning a higher rate than I would think our other accounts.
Thank you.
Do we need to check that CD against our regular amount?
I think we ought to.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Just
Mhm.
to make sure.
Is that a
But
mo-
I hate to be leaving a percent or two, that amount of money.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Okay,
I think that would be wise of us to do that.
so is that a motion?
The CD is around 2.
Yes, I'd like to make that motion.
I'll
Okay.
second it.
We have a motion made and seconded to look at our monies that we're getting back on percentage-wise and making sure we're getting it wisely along with the others. So all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? None. Motion passes. Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you, yes. And that's a good percentage from I've been shopping around with stuff, so that's a good, yes. Okay, Kim,
Wait, we gotta do,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I still gotta do collection financials and then we have to vote.
Okay,
Okay. Long pieces of paper, legal pieces of paper. The first two are just the allocation to the city and to the A&P Commission. On the third page, collections for March 2025 were $171,98, which is less than last year of $12,951.55, which is negative 2.51%. And we're up over, March of 2023 by $7,713.01, which is 1.49%.
some interruption,
Mm-hmm.
whether that money should.
I think that's the sole reason between March of 2024, the difference.
It's rarely rained, but rain did it that week.
Rain and
Yes,
wind.
We
We
you
had
know,
that windstorm before we had the.
I know all of downtown felt it pretty strong, every place there, so.
Fourth page, we have past due collections, which past due food collections were $7,951.67. Past due hotel is $1,335.45, totaling $9,287.12, which is 1.8% collections total. Fifth page, collections excluding delinquent, total of $493,884.86, which is less than March of 2024 by $3,053.29. So we're down 0.62%.
It's not bad considering the weather during that time.
And we go to Andy's favorite
Oh.
page. Here we are.
Andy's page, yeah.
Hey, civil collections. Total $258,491.01, and we're 50.08% of collections, which were consisted of 298 food permit payments and 71 hotel. Is up over March of 2024 by $7,820.41.
Bill that we could ring.
I think that's only the second time this has happened.
Thing we need a bill.
We need a bell. We do need a bell. That's all I got.
Okay, on the financial information, do we have a motion made?
I'll make a motion for approval.
She has made a motion for approval. Do I have a second? Got a second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? None. Motion passes. Thank you so much. So Kim, looks like we're down to you now. All right.
Okay, and we included, not to interrupt,
We haven't
while
done-
she's walking up.
Yeah.
Crab Kings, we put Crab Kings back on here. We did have some communication, and I did have communication with Charles regarding this matter. Charles's office, Denise's office, the mayor's office, and Judge Carnahan's office received a notice from Miss Ines Ward, and the notice states, request for records / notice of trustee acknowledgement and notice of self-executing agreement. We request the original instrument on the underlying obligation to pay the A&P hamburger tax or the contact information for the record custodian thereof regarding case number CWC 24-3472 and CWC 24-125. We request this document or the information above within 7 days. If you continue to move forward with any alleged enforcement regarding the aforementioned matters, then it will be agreed that you are committing tax invasion, security fraud, violating the public trust alongside with fiduciary obligations, and you are inadvertently enforcing peonage and slavery. If you still believe that we owe some kind of debt, fill out the connected IRS Form W-9.
This is.
Seems a bit harsh.
So that's where we're at with collections on Crab Kings.
This is her sending that to us.
Sounds like they're
Um,
mounting like some kind of countersuit.
Well, Judge Carnahan responded to her and stated that she does have 2 or more failure to appear. She has a warrant out for her arrest, 2 different ones. And he responded that she should report to district court on May 25th and turn herself into Conway PD. Whether that happens or not, I'm not sure, but that was his response.
It was looking.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he did not send anything to
Wise idea.
our address or to code enforcement, and I do not know why, because we are the only ones that have had communication with her, so. She has not showed up for court twice, and just before the last court appearance that she was supposed to be at, that she failed to appear, she did bounce a check. We have talked about this previously, but she did bounce a check to the A&P Commission, which I will be, and I had communication with Charles about this too today, filing hot check charges against that check.
And I noticed there is another restaurant in where it
Yes.
was.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
R&M Southern Eatery.
Yeah.
And I've heard it is very, very good.
Yeah.
It's real tasty.
It's where Crab King.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm sure we have a permit for them.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
And they are good taxes.
All right.
R&M Southern Eatery. It's right over here, right where, on the other side around the corner from Senor Tequila.
On to better news.
Okay. Well, that's our news on Crab King, so put it back on the delinquent list, but they're down there.
Follow that.
It is a hard follow, yeah.
That was
We had a lot of success from our delinquent list from last month. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 completely cleared up. There are still 3 that do appear again on the March, well, both of these say
Pack and
March
Wings we had
10th.
taken off, but he had fallen short of paying January.
Yeah. So anyway, they do appear again, and they'll get a final notice this next go around. So everything is in order and looks good, and the rest of these will just get their first notices on that are on the list.
We did have good response.
Yes, well done.
We did. I'm sorry?
Hogan Valero have on here? Casey's now.
I don't know, Jill, is it?
Pretty sure.
So then, yes, we will replace, well, Denise, do you remember when Casey's came in? Was it last month? Okay. So we'll change that one to Casey's because we have someone at
Okay.
Casey's.
I'd say if we
As of 2 months ago, they did, as of 1 month ago, they were still paying.
That's all I have, unless y'all have any questions. All right, thanks.
Thanks, Kim. That was all better news, so thank you.
That little,
Rachel? Are you next?
I was gonna say, yeah,
I'm
we
sorry.
don't have a 60, we just have the 30-day. So I'll make a motion for the proposed assessment notice for the 30-day that we have. And then, well, I guess, well, Crab Kings is a whole nother
Yeah.
thing. So, yeah, it
That's
would
a
just
court
be
matter.
the 30-day. I'll make that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? None. Thank you. And I'm glad getting that down. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, well, I just wanted to start by first acknowledging the tragic events that happened yesterday, and I know that that has to be weighing heavily on everyone's minds, so I appreciate you all still being here today for our regular A&P meeting, and just express our grief and prayers for all of the people impacted by that terrible tragedy. However, I'll go ahead and give you my update on work over the past month. I've been continuing to work with other AACVB members through that organization to work on some legislation. I think I'd mentioned this to you all last month, but it's just continued to get brought up, is House Bill 1790, trying to take the ability away from cities to be able to basically enforce rules on short-term rental properties. So continued to work on that a lot and just making sure that all of the members of that organization are aware and they're continuing to reach out to their local legislators. Had a call from someone with a college conference not located in Conway. They had seen an ad that I ran in a magazine and showing images of the new soccer complex, and they were interested in hosting their conference tournament here. So I'll continue to work with them. We've had a call. I've talked to Jeff about it some, and so waiting to hear back from them. But that was an exciting potential lead.
Someone in Arkansas, Rachel?
So it's a conference that does have a school in Arkansas, but they like to host their conference tournament at unbiased places. So they don't, at neutral places. So they don't host them at any of their college campuses. So
The local board, school hall to.
I guess not.
I've seen that.
So I've also worked with Create Conway some to reach out to the hotels and send them all information about Art Walk so that when we do have people come in to visit, then they can be aware of, cool events taking place downtown. Worked on updating some information for a Convention South magazine, which is focused on meeting planners. We've started working on Weekend of Champions, which is Memorial Weekend. So we're about 6 weeks out from that. We've met with UCA. We're meeting with AAA tomorrow to talk through some things. And this will be the 3rd year of our 3-year contract for that event. So we will theoretically bid on it again next January for the next 3 years. Let's see, I've been continuing to work with the photographer that we contract with to get some updated images. I know this month he's been out to the Expo Center to get some new facility images. And so far that's working really well. So any questions?
Well done.
Okay, and as always, you can reach out to me if you need information on anything else.
Rachel.
Denise?
I'm happy to report that we issued 10 A&P permits this month. Actually, 8 new ones. 2 were restaurants that changed ownership. Bobby's and Oriental Kitchen changed ownership this month. We issued 2 to mobile vendors, Island Snow and Moe's Grill and Go. Let's see, 4 restaurants. One called Mama and Me Akai, which is opening over here in the shopping center on Amity. Is that right, Amity? I'm not sure where that is, actually. I don't have the address written. Yes, it's on Amity. There was Rising Star Boba, which is on Elsinger. Swig and 7 Brew we issued, and our new Harps Food Store was issued as well. And 1 short-term rental. That's it. Any questions? Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Parks and Rec? I was
We're
just,
talking behind your back.
I was sneaking behind him there, sorry. He looked like he was ready, so.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
Just to reiterate what Rachel said, our thoughts and prayers, while it does hit, close to home in Conway, it especially does with parks. So, a terrible tragedy unfolded, and our thoughts and prayers are with those individuals and families, friends who were affected by that. April is a busy but kind of off month. Just, we've got this weekend off with Easter. We did have one weekend that was rained out, which is kind of a new thing for us, having all these turf fields. But we did have an unscheduled event earlier this month that we were able to fill on the weekend. So we still had 3 fast pitch tournaments, 3 baseball tournaments, 3 basketball tournaments, and then we've got CBC's conference tournament that'll be around a week long towards the end of this month. Past that, out at the expo, we had the Mission of Mercy last week, the 9th through the 13th. The fire department will be doing their entry-level testing next Monday, and then Bella Restina will be out here at the end of the month. So still a fairly busy month.
Excellent.
Thank y'all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
What about the, new pool?
What about that new pool?
I mean, the community center.
Sure, that's what I meant, what she said.
Everything's going as planned. I'll let Jamie kind of answer some of those more technical questions. I don't want to step on her feet or anything like that, or I'll let her kind of present some of those details maybe next month. Yeah. Yep. So, not gonna step on Jamie's toes. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
People are starting to get permitted up for Bella Restina.
What?
Bella Restina, the event. Okay, yeah. Absolutely.
Mhm.
All right. I think next thing on the agenda was, y'all kind of giving us some homework. We brought up discussion of some equipment purchase, for trail maintenance and construction. I was able to meet with the city attorney, in the interim. And, we had questions about what the best policy is. And so we, kind of have resolved this broadly. Let me start by saying, the A&P Commission can certainly own assets. You can own real estate. You have very broad financial powers. Qualitatively, once you cross the threshold of owning inventory, kind of in for a penny, in for a pound with regard to accounting practices and audits, then you need to start talking about how you track and manage inventory and depreciation and replacement. And there's a lot that goes into owning assets and having capital. The A&P Commission here has been able to operate pretty lean. You don't even own any office equipment that's wrapped up in our agreement and the lease. And so we don't have any of those. I can certainly anticipate a time in the future when it makes sense to cross that threshold, but a used mini excavator may be too low a bar to do that. All that said, in talking to the city attorney about where this asset, the need still exists. I think the opportunity for value still exists. I'm going to have Terry come up and talk about the bang for the buck or the ROI on the purchase. Probably makes sense for it to live on Parks and Recreation's books, and then we would let kind of city purchasing and all of the standard, acquisition and inventory processes and practices be applied there. And we would just know full well that the A&P Commission made it possible, just like the A&P Commission has partnered with the Parks Department on a huge number of capital purchases and projects, and we have a very healthy working relationship there. So no reason to have any concerns about turf or anything. It was really a question on whose books should it live, under which ordinance and process should it be expended and purchased. And the city attorney's recommendation was that we do that through the city and the Parks and Recreation, and this body could set aside the budget and we could go through all the movements necessary at the right time to move those funds over. But that's for the process itself. On the, like I said, the need and the ROI and value, I'll let Terry come up and speak to that.
Thank you, Jamie.
Good, how are you?
Terry Coddington, I'm the Bike and Pedestrian Coordinator here in Conway. So thanks for your time. What Jamie's alluded to is a mini excavator, which would be allocated to trail maintenance. So currently in Conway, we have the Conway Tech Park, Pompey Park, Cadron Trail System. A lot of that, it's all maintained either by me or a small army of volunteers all throughout the community. But what we've done with Pompey Park that's creating a lot of, I guess, excitement in the community, where we're bringing events that have 2,000 to 3,000 people to them to Conway for multiple days. was done through volunteers and volunteered equipment. A local construction company loaned some equipment to us. If we have equipment basically allocated for our use whenever the weather's good, whenever we can get to it, we can continue to build more trails or improve trails. I don't know how many of you walked around Cadron, but we can make that a lot more user-friendly out there as well. The more we can make that user-friendly, the more people are going to use it, kind of the less, crime rate and things that happen out there in the park as well. So excited at the opportunity. If the machine is about $25,000 used, it's about an $80,000 machine. It's got just over 1,000 hours on it, so it has a lot of life left. If you average that out to a 40-hour work week, it hasn't been used a ton, and would be put to good use here in Conway, and create more trails make it a better place to live and bring more events to Conway. So happy to answer any questions, if you have any at this time.
You need a trailer to go with that.
Not necessarily. We could, through Park and Recs, already having trucks and trailers and everything to move equipment. It's light enough that you could move it with a 3/4 ton on a flatbed trailer, and then put it at its location where you're going to use it, and then pick it back up, a few days later.
Would a city employee probably need to drive the vehicle as that's being moved, all under any liability?
Yes.
Other than you backing your truck up to?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that would be my expectation, that we would hook up a Park and Recs truck and.
I would like to make that.
Yeah,
suggestion
Yes.
too,
I was
if
gonna
you hadn't
say.
thought about it, but
Yeah.
obviously you're
Yeah.
2 steps ahead of me.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
You know,
Now,
I'm,
just to
yeah.
kind of echo some of the stuff that Terry. Of damage. Relying on drop off a piece of equipment. Rains and back, it's gone.
Yeah.
Did something. Having this on. Make it easier. City in the city. This is something that I brought up, whenever I first came on the council. Harder.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Cyclists and I'm for this. About the math.
I appreciate you.
Yes.
That makes all.
No problem. Glad to be here. Yeah. So.
Profound.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Profound, huh? Yeah, profound.
Man, this is getting old, ain't it, for sissies?
Well, I think we pretty much covered it, particularly with looking at it falling under Parks and Recreation, and of course, getting the actual machinery that would need to be done via truck, trailer, whatever it may be, for Parks and Recreation, due to that being under their inventory, and then also, so I think we've pretty much covered everything. I think the only piece would be, how we do it as far as the paper trail goes. I don't know if the A&P just automatically approves it, and then we would have to send something before the city council, which it wouldn't necessarily come out of city council budget. It would come out of this budget, but probably to have that as equipment to be listed through Parks and Recreation. And we could probably get with Charles on what that needs to look like for us to approve at a council meeting.
Would it not be any different than a special project?
I imagine the procedure being the same.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right,
The money would move the same.
right. Mm-hmm.
As council, y'all would
Mm-hmm. And it would be as part of the assets for the Parks and Recreation, so. Yeah,
Is there, or should there be any rules and regulations about who gets to use it first? Is kind of my question.
That's what
Well-
I was gonna bring up.
Yeah.
is that,
Yeah.
Like, it needs to, I mean, I know that everybody would be able to use it. I would refuse, like, hey, I need it, borrow it, but if
Currently, the way it works, so Park and Recs obviously has equipment. Street departments has equipment, and whenever I need equipment, I make an ask. It's always allocated on a job or something somewhere because we're growing and we're busy. So this would be the exact opposite. It would be allocated to trails. And whenever I'm not busy and using it
right.
to build trails, if they have a need
Mhm.
for it, then they, by all means, could use
Mhm.
the machine, so.
I do want to clarify, just because that was something that came up on the advice. One reason this should live at Parks and Recreation rather than Transportation is to play this forward to a much larger extent, you know. AMP funds not eligible to supplant our transportation expense.
Right.
Correct. You
Mhm.
know, we can't use,
Mm-hmm.
we couldn't buy a road paver
Right,
for, with AP funds and say, well, it's for this trail, and then use it for Park Streets. 'Cause then you're
Right.
supplanting your general operation.
mm-hmm.
But partner like, with Parks and Rec, imagine that we have, you know, a repair that needs to be made at a gravel parking lot where we have a tournament, or somebody, you know, some place has gotten soft holding water, and this is the right piece of equipment. If it's available, of course, you know, it's
Right.
gonna be there for city utility within the Parks and Recreation Department. And the, kind of the pecking order within that department would be,
Yeah, but the priority would be for the trails.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
but it is parks. It is a parks piece of equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Legal sense.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But
And-
we don't need a motion on this.
And it is the 25,000 for.
25,000
okay.
is the quoted price for the machine.
Close enough to where we,
Yes, yeah, yeah. If it's not in Conway right now, it's in Clinton, and would be delivered to us free of charge.
oh,
So, yeah.
I think we probably would need to make a motion for
we
approval of
have.
that expenditure specifically for that piece of equipment to be housed through Parks and Recreation and as part of their inventory. So I just made that motion.
Well, looks like we got a motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Looks like it passes. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Gary, thank you so much for your commitment that you've made to the trails as well and all the work that I know you spearhead everything, but what you and your committee and your other laborers
Appreciate
do,
it,
we
yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thanks
Uh,
for the other bicycler.
Yeah.
he tells me to do it.
Well, then you listen well. Thank you.
If I could just address you one moment. So cycling events that we have coming to Conway. In May, Mother's Day weekend, we have the Ugly Gnome Mountain Bike Race. It's called the Ugly Gnome. We actually have a guy that dresses up as an ugly gnome.
Wow.
So it used to be in Greenbrier. We moved it to the Conway Tech Park last year. We had a great event, even though it rained sideways. This year, it's on Mother's Day weekend, but the event is on Saturday. Mom's race free. We're doing free clinics. So we're trying to create experiences where people come into town, pre-ride the trail, take a clinic. So myself and a few other folks, Wes included, are helping to put on these free clinics to bring people into town for multiple weeks leading up to the event. September, we have the NICA. Andy, you got to see the NICA race. That's going to be bigger and better than ever. We're expecting 3,000 plus at that. I'm working with the promoter to bring the Arkansas State Championship Road Race and Criterium to Conway, proposing a plan to do the Criterium race, which is circuit racing through downtown, which would circle around some of the businesses on a Sunday morning. And then we also are working on trying to bring the Arkansas High Country race to Conway as a host city for that. And that's almost, I would say internationally, when you say West, internationally known race. It is a race around the entire state of Arkansas. And we're working on a plan to try and put in a proposal for Conway to be the host city. So that's
Wow.
some of the cycling events that are coming. So
Is it last year in Hot Springs?
it was in Russellville, the last it's a 2-year contract, if we do it, so. Anyhow, that's, yep,
That's,
so, anyhow.
Thank
Thank
you
y'all.
so much.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Terry.
Okay, is there any new business that we need to discuss? Is there any old business we need to discuss? Do we have a motion made to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion made, is there a second? Been made and second. All in favor, say goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.